Hi, this is Hasib Ashan, your mindset expert and peak performance strategist. Today I want to talk to you about goal achievement and what is required in the process of achieving your goals. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because did you know that 90% of Americans and probably of many people in different societies do not write their goals down, especially clear, specific, measurable type of goals. So what we need to do is we need to be and think like the 10%. And I know someone has told me this, one of my mentors said that if you do not write your goals down, you will work for someone who has written their goals down and you will help their dreams come true. So in order to be part of being a co-creator of our reality, going after what we want, is setting those goals, and those can be related for all areas of our life. We can have monthly goals, annual goals, bi-weekly goals, whatever it is, but going through the process, it's very essential. And so the first step of goal achievement is number one, is to write the goal down. Common sense, but not always common practice. However, there's a way to write your goal down. You want it to be specific, you want it to be measurable, you want it to be achievable, you want it to be time-bound, right? So there's different elements within a goal that will ensure success. You also want it to be realistic, right? The problem in life is not that we aim too high and we miss, it's that we aim too low and we hit. So what we need to do is we need to have a goal that is not too difficult and it's not too easy. So if I set a goal for myself that I want to make $1 billion in 1 hour, right, that may not happen. In my mind, I perceive that as being too difficult. But we don't want it to be too easy either. And again, being specific, that's also key as well. In my seminars, I'll always give this example where I'll walk up to an attendee and I say the phrase, ask and you shall what? Receive. All right, so let's say someone has a goal, I want to make more money. That is their goal. And an attendee said this one time, okay, my goal is I want to make more money. And I looked at them and I walked up to them, I said, all right, here's $1, here's more money. I didn't want $1. Well, isn't that what you said? That's what you asked for. You want more money. Aren't you $1 richer? Isn't that more money? Right? So the moral of the story is, if it's not clear, you will get mixed results. So if you give the universe mixed signals, you will in turn receive mixed results. So we have to be precise in setting the proper goal. So let's say if it's income that you want to make, instead of saying make more money, a better way of structuring it is, I want to make, or I have made $10,000 by November 5th, 2020. I have made $1 million by November 5th, 2020. That is much more powerful. It's measurable because the brain sees things in pictures and images. And it needs something to strive for, it needs something to be clear. So when you have a dollar amount, that's what it does. It trains your subconscious to look for things to help you get closer to your goal, and especially putting a date next to it improves the ability for you to go out there and get some motion, take some action. Because if you say someday, someday may be no day. So having a clear specific date or deadline, that's the key. If you don't give it a deadline, it will not get done, guaranteed. So that is the way we need to set a goal. And Harvard did a study. They took 3 groups. There was one group of individuals, so there was 3 groups in a graduating class, a high school graduating class of 1970. And within this sample size, there were 3 groups. The first group had no goals at all. The second group had some goals, but they were very vague and generalistic goals, and you had a small percentage of people in this graduating class that had clear, specific goals. From what college they wanted to go to, at graduate school, how much money they wanted to make, what kind of professional field they wanted to get into. And so 30 years later, they wanted to do a study on these 3 groups of this high school graduating class. So they compared the group that didn't have any goals with the group that had some general vague goals. And what they found out is that the group that had the general vague goals were making twice more income than the group that didn't have any goals. Interesting. They compared that small percentage of group 3, right, that had clear, specific written goals, and they compared it to the group that didn't have any goals, and guess what? That group was making 10 times more income than the group that didn't have any goals. So again, setting it is the first step. Now what happens here is that when people set the goal, they feel like that's it, I'm good to go, everything's going to be okay. And that is not the case. There is more layers in play to actually achieve a goal. We're not just talking about goal setting. How do we actually go out there, achieve, and execute, and get the desired results? Because as we know, most New Year's resolutions go unresolved. Many people, what happens? They'll set the goal, it's December 31st, 2 months go down, and the fuse fizzles out. So what we need to do, not only do we set the goals, but we need to do number 2, which is get the strategies, tactics, and processes to go out there and to actually achieve the goal. So if I have a goal that I want to make this much money in my business by next year, right, have it laid out, I need to gather strategies. If I don't have the strategies, what I need to do is I need to acquire those strategies. How do you acquire strategies? Books, mentors, tapes, programs, seminars, right? We need to gather the knowledge to give us the appropriate steps of achieving the goal. So if I want to build a 6-figure business, 7-figure business, 8-figure business, I need to map out the entire strategical process. How many products do I need to sell? How many customers must I acquire? What's my social media strategy? So there's so many parts at play that I need to be familiar with. So that is one step. But we don't stop there. The third step is action. So obviously, execution is the mother of success. We can have a goal, but if we're not executing or taking action, nothing is going to happen. So what we have to do is we have to get the strategies and know what action steps must we need to make to achieve the goal. So if it's 20 cold calls a day, then I'm going to have to make 20 cold calls a day and take action on that. So that is very powerful. But here's what happens, very interesting. There are people out there that have the goal, that have the strategies, and they know what action steps to take, but they still fail to achieve the goal. Very, very interesting. I'm sure many of us have been there. I've even been there myself a few times. Because what's missing is that having a goal, having a strategy, having action, those are all the mechanics of achieving a goal. But achieving a goal requires more than just mechanics. It requires the 4th step is your beliefs. Having the right, empowering belief that will help you to execute properly. Or in other words, having the right psychology. That is so, so powerful and essential to this process. So if I have a goal, I want to build a successful business, but deep down in terms of my belief system, or psychologically, or even in my subconscious, I tell myself, money is the root of all evils. Being a businessman means you're greedy. Takes time away from me, takes time away from my family, me spending time with this person, that person, my family. I'm going to have to be married to my business. So if I have all these negative beliefs and psychological limiting associations to building a business, but yet at the same time I tell myself, well, I want to build a successful business. Do you think my beliefs are empowering me to achieve the goal of building a successful business? Of course not. That's what's called cognitive dissonance, where our conscious wants and desires are not in alignment with our subconscious beliefs and perceptions. So here's the key. We need to reframe that. So instead of having a disempowering belief towards the goal, shift it to having an empowering belief. So instead I'm going to tell myself, I can do it. Being an entrepreneur is going to exercise most of my great faculties. I'm a successful entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur means that I'm going to give a lot back to my community. I'm going to help people. I'm going to hire staff. I'm going to help the community. I'm going to provide a great service. I'm going to do what I love. So I'm going to have all these empowering beliefs instead of those disempowering, bad, limiting beliefs. So just remember that. Have the empowering beliefs that support your goal. Now, let's say you don't have empowering beliefs, then what we need to do is we need to write out all those disempowering beliefs, cross them out, and reframe them with the empowering belief, the exact opposite positive statement, and repeat that until that empowering belief becomes an actual core belief. So that's how you do that. And in my seminars and in my coaching programs, I go a lot more in depth. We go through the layers of beliefs. How do you reframe it? What type of affirmations mean what to your subconscious mind? So it gets more in depth. Now, once we have the proper empowering beliefs, the 5th and final step to help us with goal achievement is to understand our big why. This is the key for everything. Why do we do what we do? Motivation Do you know what the root word of motivation means? Motive for action. Motivation means what? Are your motives for taking action? And if you're not clear with those motives, or in other words, those compelling reasons as to why you want to do what you want to do, then you're not going to get out of bed with passion. So what we need to do is we need to make that clear. Why do I want to build a business? To feed myself, to feed my family, to pay off debt, to help the community, to give to staff, to donate to charity. And it doesn't have to be just one big why. I want you to list out whatever goal that you have, whether it's for your health, relationships, it doesn't matter. List out all your whys. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because that why is going to be your driver, because there are going to be days when you're not in the zone. We're human beings. It's not always going to be perfect. However, when you focus your brain to focus on the why, then it's going to push you and motivate you to take action. Sometimes in my business, I have to make cold calls. And sometimes I'm not in the mood to make cold calls, call customers, follow-ups. But when I look at my why, then that really shifts my perspective of cold calling. I need to feed my family. This customer is I'm giving this customer an opportunity to be able to help that person, see if they need my help. So when I shift my mindset, it makes a world of a difference. And remember this, activity without passion and purpose is the drain to our lives. Activity without passion and purpose is the drain to our lives. The reason why a lot of people are bored, they don't know, that they just feel like they're going through mundane, routine tasks on a daily basis, and they're not feeling as fulfilled or as passionate, is because they have not properly identified their reasons, their purpose, right? Having a purpose, that is the key. So I know this is great information. It's going to really help you take your game to the next level. Again, my seminars, I go way more in depth. I just want to give you the touch and the feel of what it takes or what's required to actually achieve a goal and not just set a goal. So there are big distinctions there. And so thank you for following me, and I encourage you to ask me any questions that you have. I'm here to help you. That's my goal and my mission in life, to empower you to reach your dreams and rise above mediocrity. And as always, remember, when we're pursuing goals, dreams, objectives, in that journey, in that process, make sure you always remain happy, being in a happy emotional state. That is ideal. And make sure you stay ambitious, never lose that fire, be persistent, because I believe in you, because you have magnificence within you. And make sure you go out there and execute your magnificence today.